Hi, for those that don't know me, I'm Virginia and I'm an executive burnout coach. Prior to starting my coaching practice, where I focus on helping corporate women continue to advance and succeed professionally without sacrificing themselves and burning themselves out, I spent 24 years in the banking and finance industry, where I worked my way from teller to small community bank to senior vice president of a $27 billion bank. I'd love to tell you it was easy peasy and no stress at all, but that would be a lie. It took a lot of hard work, a lot of determination, and I nearly burned out along the way. And I don't want anyone else to have to experience that. You don't need to sacrifice yourself to succeed. Remember that. You don't have to sacrifice yourself to succeed, however you define success, because it's personal definition. So, it's the holidays. It's stressful. We're a little bit more back to normal, but maybe not as much as normal. So that probably makes it even more stressful. So that's why today's topic is, how much time do you spend enjoying life? You know, lots of holiday decorations include the word joy and peace. But do we really experience them this time of year? I mean, we should experience them all year. But given we've got all these visual reminders around us, we should be even more aware and have more joy in our life. But there's a lot to do. You've got all your year-end activities at work, and depending upon the culture in your organization, you know, I came from one where there was big push right up to 12/31. There was no taking New Year's Eve off. We were working. Deals needed to be funded. We need to hit volume goals for the year. Now, other parts of the organization that weren't production, you know, like many of the executive team, they took that week between Christmas and New Year's off, right? Kids were out of school. They had family commitments. So that meant everything you had to do for corporate reporting and year end and all that had to be done before that, right? So you may not still have 3 weeks if you're in a schedule where your boss is cutting out for the holidays and you need to have all your year-end stuff in. You're running on a shorter calendar. Or maybe you're in a production role where you're pushing right up until that last hour. Wow, that sounded exhausting just saying it. You know, then you've got holiday stuff, kids concerts. Maybe if you attend a church, there's extra stuff to do at church and community. We're very involved. And so I can't wait for this month to be over. Between, you know, food drives and, you know, toiletry collections and toy donation collections and getting things to the organizations that need them and helping package and wrap and, you know, delivering to family in needs. All great stuff. But that's on top of our already busy lives. You're probably in the same boat. And as women, we tend to be the ones who, even outside the holiday season, are doing the shopping, the cooking, the planning, the cleaning, the organizing, the wrapping. It's exhausting. And then granted, you know, for centuries, there was women's roles and male roles, and we're evolving to make them more balanced, but for a lot of us, there still tend to be not quite there. When I was married, most of our holiday gifts were for my then husband's family. He had a sister with kids, and so, great. Christmas is for kids. We should be wrapping gifts. Awesome. And my ex-husband wrapped beautifully. Like, he made sure the bow and paper matched and crisp lines. Can you tell I was a little envious? I'm not very good at it, so I don't enjoy it. And if you think about it, the wrapping becomes trash, right? The joy when we were little and got presents was tearing them apart. For me, there's no joy in wrapping them. So in addition to having to do the shopping and planning for what was predominantly his family, I had a wrap. I'm not good at it. He is. So now, in addition to the stress of extra things on to do, I'm pissed off. Yeah. Do you experience? So where's the joy? Where's the joy in the gift giving if you're annoyed? Then there's the obligatory gifts. You know what? They don't have to be. I used to laugh. There were, for years in our office, the executive team would exchange gifts, typically bottles of wine. So, of course, you didn't want to show any kind of favoritism among your peers, so you gave everybody the same bottle of wine. Wow, that's a very personal gift. It's very sincere. And in return, you expected something. I used to laugh as one coworker would bring the case of wine into the office and is putting them in the gift bags and then handing them out to his peers and his staff. I'm like, it's very heartfelt. Then there'd be the, somebody who gave homemade Christmas cookies to everybody rather than wine. And then there'd be the pissiness. Well, I spent $20 on a bottle of wine and I got homemade cookies. I think I should take my wine back. Again, there's no joy in this experience if we're getting catty. And it was men. Okay? Just for the record, it was the guys that were getting catty. And then you worry, well, what if somebody has an issue? You don't want to give wine to somebody who's a recovering alcoholic. I used to try to find something meaningful. And so trying to find something meaningful to a group of different personalities, because again, you want to be consistent, exhausting. And then too, if you don't get anything back, then you're like, why did I go through this effort? Or why did I make an effort to make it meaningful? And you just handed me a bottle of wine. It's white wine. I don't even drink white wine. Or whatever. So you know what I've done? I don't do obligatory gifts. I give them where they give me joy. The kids in the neighborhood that I'm getting to watch grow up, they get Christmas presents because they give me joy. Do I worry about hunting down my trash man? No. Do I give to my mama? Yeah, I know him. We chat. We wave, we smile. It brings me joy. So what on your to-do list this time of year? Obviously, you get to do the work stuff. It is what it is. But as you're going through your holiday season to-do list, what's not giving you joy? Can you cross it off? Yeah, okay, you got to give the kids teachers gifts. What can you do that satisfies that and stresses you out the least? Is there something special about their teacher this year? Really? Maybe you donate something to the classroom instead. Find something that will give you joy in this. I recently read a story about two women. They were hosting a party. And it was a good-sized crowd at their home. So one fell into the good hostess role and was worried about the cooking and the serving and making sure the guests were taken care of. The other host, she was sitting and chatting with her guests. So guess what happened with the first one? She got pissy and was like, hey, help. And one of the guests turns to the first woman and says, why are you stressing out? She made a good choice. She's enjoying our company. And as I read this, I'm like, wow, that's so apropos this time of year. I know I am guilty. I enjoy hosting my family, right? It was a thrill, growing up in a house. It was just me, my mom, and my grandfather. Holiday gatherings were pretty small. So as an adult, when I had the opportunity to host my father's family, and there's 25 or 30 of us in my modest little home, it was wonderful. I love looking at the table and seeing us all sitting together, and passing food. It's not a buffet. We're together. But of course I stress, right? It's a day of preparing, setting up extra tables and cooking and blah, blah, blah. And my family would arrive, and you come into my home through my kitchen. There's a lot of activity happening if you're serving dinner to 25 plus people. And I would literally say something to, I love you, now get out of here. Not that I didn't want them around me, but there's just logistically 25 people don't fit in the kitchen, especially then when you're trying to open the oven to take out a turkey or a ham. And I wanted them to go and sit and enjoy each other. I wanted them to spend the time together. And of course, particularly my aunts and female cousins, the women, they want to help. And so I struggled with that, right? No, go relax, enjoy. I'm the host. It's my job to make you comfortable. But as I read this story, I realized, oh my gosh, I wasn't getting pissy because I didn't have a partner in, helping me host. So there was nobody to get annoyed with that I'm doing this. But I was taking that role and I wasn't enjoying my family. I was worrying about getting the food on the table, making sure everybody had what they needed, getting the dirty dishes in the dishwasher and scrubbing the serving dishes and, making sure they were comfortable and refilling drinks. And I was missing the joy. Not to mention, my family wasn't getting to experience me. So as you're racing around and doing things that you may not enjoy, right? Wrapping can be a chore, I'm seeing, for a lot of us. I saw a friend shared on social media. She's been watching YouTube videos. She's going to nail the wrapping this year. She's determined. And when I read it, my heart broke. Like, wow, that's a lot of anxiety and emotion right there about making sure the gifts are wrapped perfectly. And I thought, if somebody's going to judge you over the quality of the wrapping paper, they don't deserve you. Forget about the gift in the wrapping paper. They don't deserve you. And remember, the wrapping paper is going to end up in the trash. The dishes will eventually get washed. You know what? If you want, use paper plates. It's okay. If somebody's going to judge you, then don't invite them back. If it's going to take away from you having joy. So make sure, as we're getting through the hustle and bustle of everything, that you're taking time to enjoy it. Are you enjoying the lights? Are you enjoying that you're giving something somebody really wants? Are you taking the time? And if you're like, that sounds great, I would love to do that, but I don't know how. How do I enjoy it? First, slow down. Sounds counterproductive, right? I've got all this to do and you're telling me to do this. So, yeah. Yes, I am. Look at your to-do list. How much of it do you really need to do? Do you need to put up 6 inflatables? If it makes you happy, then yeah. If it's a chore and the damn things blow over, who cares? What difference does it make? Stop worrying about the small stuff, right? I actually never read the book, Don't Sweat the Small Stuff. I probably should. But make sure all the things on your list are going to bring you joy. If it's stressing you out, reevaluate. You know what? There was one holiday season that was kind of crappy because I was in the process of getting divorced. And so my ex-husband, his role model was Clark Griswold. And if you don't know that reference, go watch National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, right? I literally would text the neighbors, we're hitting the lights, prepare for a brownout. It brought him joy. Didn't do much for me. I wasn't really into Christmas. So I'm like, fine, whatever. You're happy? Have at it. Well, you're getting divorced. You didn't want to decorate. I didn't want to decorate because I don't enjoy it. And as I would drive home every evening that season, I'm like, oh, my house is dark. All the other houses are shining with holiday lights. And I'm like, oh, I realized I did see joy in those lights. So you know what? I put up lights every year. Ironically, I don't commute home anymore, so I don't get to enjoy them. But the point was, it didn't bring me joy. And then when it wasn't there, I saw, oh, that is. So now I make sure I do it. You know, if sitting in front of the Christmas tree gives you joy, then do it. Make the time. If it doesn't, don't. Decide what brings you joy, and that's what you focus on. That should be at the top of your to-do list, right? There are requirements for year-end at work. You got to do those. But also look at that. Can you delegate? Can you outsource? Oh, you can, because it doesn't bring you joy. We all find different things we like. I personally love doing risk assessments. Most of you may be like, ugh. Well, maybe not. I have a lot of risk people in my circle, so you may like them. My peers in sales thought that was horrible. So I didn't mind doing those, but there were other things, not so much. See if somebody on your team enjoys that, wants to learn that. Here you go. Delegate it. Do the same thing at home, right? Do the things that give you joy. If there's nothing in this holiday season that is bringing you joy, then you need to reevaluate how you're spending it. And you need to carry that through. If you're like, you know what, you're right. I'm not getting enough joy. I'm not getting enough time to just sit and relax. You know what? I am the one who's waiting on everybody when we get together as family or friends to celebrate any occasion, any time during the year. Make a change. Whatever it is. I personally am not going to go to paper plates. That would not give me joy. I enjoy putting real plates in front of my family and friends. But you know what I've learned? They can sit in the sink till after they leave. They're not going to get up and run away. The dishes can wait till after the family leaves. I'll take care of it. It's fine. I'm going to go sit and enjoy with the cousins that I don't get to see often. You know what? Let's play a game. Let's just slide the dishes into the kitchen, bust out some board games. Whatever. Make sure as you're getting into these last couple of weeks of all these gatherings and good times, that they're not a source of stress. And you know what? If getting out holiday cards is wigging you out, send Valentine's Day cards. Send cards randomly throughout the year. Who cares? We all love getting something in the mail that's not a bill or junk. Send them in February. Send them in March. Nobody's going to expect it. Then you get to bring an even extra sense of joy. But take the time. I'm being a little redundant because it's really important. Make sure you're not missing the moments because of you stressing out on your to-dos. So if you're ready to make that change so that this is the last year that you're freaking out over the final weeks of the year, let's talk. There is a better way. You can get everything done and still have time for you. Make that the goal. That you have time for joy. And it's more than just a holiday decoration hanging on a tree or lit up in your yard. I'm here to help. So, if you're ready to make the change, or you know somebody who probably could use listening to this, share, drop me a comment, drop me a message. Let's connect. Check out my website, virginiawalton.com. You can find me on LinkedIn or Facebook. Again, that's virginiawalton.com. And I'm here to help you make sure that you're getting the joy you need.